of objectives. It can fit anywhere in your marketing campaign. You can drive awareness, you can drive engagement, you can link it to CRM and to loyalty. You can have an ongoing dialogue. So actually, there's no excuse for not considering mobile as a key part of your marketing campaigns moving forward. So, you're listening to me, and you're thinking, I like that. That guy, Liam, seems like quite a nice fella. He's told me that mobile's fantastic. He's given me loads of stats. I'm really excited. So how do I do it? We have a very simple planning process. Like a lot of marketing processes, this isn't necessarily rocket science, but it's key that we actually go through exactly how we make it happen. The first thing you'll notice, actually, is the timelines on this. The whole process could take between 6, 8, 9 months, potentially, depending on what it is you're producing. This is why it's key that this happens from day one. The minute you start talking to your creative agencies about what the campaign might be, mobile should be considered. So the first thing is we need to get a strategy. So we look at our consumer audience, we look at their consumption, how they're using mobile, tie it to how they're using other media. Find out exactly what they're doing before we can determine what the best tactic might be. Then we get our brief, and as I said before, this is where we need all the key stakeholders involved at this point. We need the creative agency, media agency, digital agencies. We need to make sure everyone's integrated so that when we start to develop concepts and creative concepts, mobile's baked in from the start. It's no good as a bolt-on. Once we've determined what it is we're going to produce, and what we're trying to achieve, then of course from that we can set our metrics of success. We'll talk a bit more about those in a second. Now the execution part is where it becomes a little bit more specialist. This is where you're going to need a specialist mobile agency. We're talking about wireframes, we're talking about technical builds. That's something that not just anyone can do. But we need to link this also to our media campaigns. Again, you'll see here, we need to ensure that we're promoting whatever it is we're producing. It could be a game, it could be an app, it could be an SMS campaign, it could be a piece of film. But unless our consumers are getting that, then we're lost. Now, evaluation is key. Measurement is key. Scott's already been talking about data as the new black. We'll talk a little bit more about what these metrics might be in a second. What we do get from digital and from mobile is real-time updates, which allows us to optimize and refine our campaigns as we go. So what this means in terms of a consumer journey, how will this roll out? Well, the first thing is we need to promote it. We need to think very carefully about what paid media is going to be pushing this out. Is it an app? How do our consumers get that app? How do they download it? Is there a call to action in other parts of the communication? So what is that promotion strategy? Then after that, how do we engage them? We need to give them a compelling reason to get involved. Now, mobile is a very, very personal device, as I'll keep saying. So we need to be very careful about what we're asking our consumers to do. But you give them a good reason, and they'll engage. Of course, what will really get them excited is the content that we're giving them. We have a multitude of tactics. It could be couponing to drive sales. It could be a game. It could be a piece of film. So we need to devise the best piece of content that work for our audience and work for their marketing objectives. Now, once we've got them, we need to ask ourselves what do we want to do with them. And this is often a mistake people make, especially with mobile. We're capturing a whole load of data. We're getting people to sign in, give us their mobile phone number, maybe answer an SMS, tell us something about themselves. So we need to be very careful about what we want to do with that data. We should consider what the ongoing dialogue might look like. So this campaign isn't just 6 months and gone. This actually could form the basis of 6, 12, 2 years. Just think carefully what that dialogue might be and what the follow-up might be. Remember, you're capturing all these people. You don't want to let them walk out your shop. Mobile is a great platform for driving viral. We know our consumers love to share things. Give an opportunity to pass it on. Create brand ambassadors. Let them share it and let it spread. You need to make it easy to share. It could be one click. Can they send it to everyone in their address book? How can we do that and encourage them to share it with everyone? And again, how can we link to sales? So what's the ultimate end game for this? Couponing is fantastic. You could target that time of day. They could be in store and they receive that coupon. I'll go to the aisle, I'll pick up that product. I'll go to the checkout, I'll buy it now and I'll take 10% off, thank you very much. Maybe it's an invitation for sampling. Send off for a sample product. Maybe it's just a timely reminder every now and then to say, you haven't bought this in a little while, maybe you're running low, please go and buy a product. Mobile allows you to do all those things, perhaps in a way that no other media channel can do. So metrics. Metrics. We all love metrics. We have to define a whole host of measurements now. This is a different ball game. So we need to tie those to what the objectives are. If it's awareness, maybe it's about number of impressions. Maybe it's engagement, SMS responses, that kind of thing, downloads, conviction, and so on and so forth. What we need to do is map out what those are and then pick the metric accordingly. Again, once we have these metrics, we get in real-time streams of data. We can optimize and refine as we go. This is, again, fairly unique in terms of media channels. We can find out what's working. So potentially, we can switch out creative, find something that may be working better. Or if something's working really well, let's push it harder. If people are responding, let's target them closer. Let's really get that deeper engagement that we're looking for. This allows us to do this on a day-to-day basis. We don't need to wait 6 months, 12 months to look back and say, how did that campaign do? You can do it right away. So, in terms of what best practice looks like, mobile is actually all about ongoing dialogue. It's a very personal, key channel in our consumers' lives. We need to be invited into that. We can't just barge our way in. They'll just push us out. So it's very important that we get their permission. We need opt-in models. And of course, we need to give them the option to opt out again, should they want to. We need to be transparent about what it is we want from them in return for their data, in return for their time. Let's be transparent. Let's be clear about that. And of course, the way to land it is to be relevant and contextual. Give our consumers a reason to want to engage in this personal space. So I'm actually about to finish up, nice and early. But I wanted to take a quick peek into the future. I didn't want to do a whole load of, here's the future of mobile. So I think some of that for this region is still a little way off. But one of the things that's really key for mobile moving forward is going to be location-based services. And I think as this region catches up quick, that's going to become absolutely vital. So the guys from Google, I'm sure, will talk about search. It could be maps. Here's a really nice case study from Nokia about how they wanted to promote and highlight how their navigation services might work in a really fun way.
When people think about navigation, they don't think about Nokia. So Nokia called for an idea that would not only drive interest into Nokia's navigation products, but more importantly, inspire people to start using the services both on their phones and on the web. But most people see mobile navigation as something that gets you from A to B, and it's not very fun or engaging. So what if you could turn things around and make navigation into something social, a channel where you can share your favorite places, your good things. To do this, we found a solution based on the simplest idea around. Right in the middle of one of London's busiest areas, next to the iconic Tower Bridge, we started building one of the world's largest interactive installations.
Plug it in, power it up, and you're right.
The 60-ton interactive structure reaching over 50 meters tall with an arrow the size of 2 London double-deckers. Completely motorized and turned 360 degrees, pointing out people's favorite locations all around the world. People on the street could use their phones and text the location directly to the signpost, and within moments the giant would turn and display the direction and distance to their good thing. Through 4 webcams placed around the site, the installation was streamed live onto Nokia.com, where the live stream was synced with the Good Things map, so people could explore all the locations on the signpost inside Nokia's online navigation service. They could also add their own location to the signpost by dropping a pin on the Good Things map. And of course, we could follow the signpost through its own Good Things feed on Twitter. During the 2 weeks when the signpost was live, thousands of locations were displayed, added by the public, either through the web or through text messages. And on the internet, the installation picked up plenty of hits. A physical installation that was powered by the public, both through the web and through their phones. An idea that redefines navigation from something that only gets you from A to B into something fun and engaging. And we based it on the simplest idea around. Only this time, we made it 50 meters tall, completely motorized, and we put the controls right under your thumb.
Now, Scott's already touched on location. When you start to add mobile into the equation with social networks, suddenly I think you've got a real game changer there. So that's where I think the future's going. Just in case you weren't sure that mobile's important, message from our leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Liam. And I'm sure the participants are eager to ask some questions before we have coffee break. Ada yang ingin bertanya, para hadirin? Sebelum kita melanjutkan ke istirahat coffee break. Okay, over there. Your name, please.
Good morning. My name is Putri Happy. I'm from Kraft Foods Indonesia. My question is that how can we ride the momentum of the digital growth when our brand user is kids in between 6 to 12 years old, and they are lower class people. That is our target. And we know that these kids, they have a limited pocket money. It's around 3 to 5 cents, where they need to spend it for buying their snacking product, and then they also need to go to internet cafe where they can access internet there, and also sometimes they spend it this money for buying prepaid card for mobile phone.
Right.
So that's my questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
So how can we target low-income young users? Well, actually, there are a couple of interesting models rolling out across the region. There's a couple of advertising-based models where users can actually sign up to a service where they, in return for receiving advertising to their mobile phone, they get credit in return. And it's something that's really new, something that was tried in Europe a little while ago. It's moved here now. And actually gives, when targeted at younger people, especially lower-income people, it gives a very compelling reason for them to sign up for this. So I think that's probably just one tactic that could work. So there are other issues in this region around, sometimes you get charged to receive an SMS. So that's why we need to think very carefully about what the correct tactic is in order to engage with our consumers and what's the audience landscape in that country's landscape like. But there are platforms and there are solutions that are rolling out to that very problem.